Students, today we are going to discuss Act 2, Scene 2 of Galsworthy's play Strife. This scene takes us to the meeting of the workers. It's an open space near the factory, and we see Roberts standing a little away from the crowd. Whereas Harness, the trade union official, is standing on the platform and is addressing the workers. In his speech, he asks the workers to be reasonable as some of their demands are in excess of the wages in other factories. Two factory workmen, Jago and Evans, argues with Harness and they are opposed to him. But the rest of the workers seem to agree with him. Evans says that Harness wants to turn them into blacklegs. Now, blacklegs are workers who work in factory during a strike. So he says that he is personally against this and he would rather starve or die than do that. After Harness, Thomas ascends the platform. He says that they are suffering not because of the employers or the union, but because they had gone against nature, against human nature. Even Chapel wants to end the strike by accepting a compromise. After hearing them, most of the workers seem to agree with them. When Jago, who represents the interests of the engineers, wants to go to the platform to speak to them, there are cries of, "Don't let him go up." This infuriated him, and he says that everyone should have the right to speak or to say what he likes. He says that the engineers had supported them throughout, and now it's a duty uh, of the laborers to support them, and it's a dirty thing for the laborers to abandon them now. After this, George Rouse jumps to the platform and appeals that they must yield to human nature. Roberts is shocked at his attitude because earlier George Rouse was Roberts' staunch follower and he always supports him. But now Rouse makes him clear that he has changed his mind. Now he agrees with Harness, who says, "Stand by us and we shall stand by you." He even goes to the extent of blaming Roberts for all their sufferings. And actually, this he is doing because Madge has asked him to do so. And he is in love with Madge. He says that Harness is right because without the support of union, they are nothing. It's the union that gives them strength. He appeals the workers to give union the authority to negotiate terms with the employers. When he finished, the crowd seems to be in his favor. Then, finally, when all others have expressed their views, Roberts ascends the platform. At first, nobody is in a mood to listen to him, but he faces the crowd with great confidence. And as we know that he's a very good orator, so he's able to make them listen to him. He makes fun of them for allowing Harness, Thomas, and Rouse to speak and being unwilling to hear him. He asks all of them if there was anyone there who stood less to gain and more to lose from the strike than he. He reminds them that he had given £800 since the strike began. He ridicules and criticizes the views of Thomas regarding nature and Chapel. Then he targets Rouse, who had told the workers that he had hellfire on he had hellfire on his tongue, and says that if he had, he would use it to burn all talk of surrender. He insists that surrendering is the work of cowards and traitors. He continues by saying that Harness is a clever man, but they should not be misled by him. He interprets Union's slogan regarding helping the workers as, I quote, desert your friends and we will desert you, unquote. Since they did not desert their friends, the Union deserted them. So they fought by themselves and they have even won the fight. He continues his speech and told them that he wanted to remind them that their fight is against a bloodsucker. Their fight is against the exploitation and operation of the workers, of the labor class. Their fight is against the capitalists, the stony hearted monsters. He appeals to the workers to support the strike as it is not aimed at getting a few benefits for themselves, but it's for the benefit of the generations of laborers and their children. He asks them not to yield at the time when victory is within sight. The crowd of workers gets excited by his speech and they all turn in favor of Roberts. But at this critical juncture, there is a turn in the events. Madge appears on the scene and informs him about his wife's death. Hearing this news, he leaves immediately and runs home. His opponents get a chance and they start criticizing him for this and blaming him for this incident and for his wife's death. And in this way, Roberts is overthrown in the very moment of his victory. And a strife begins between his supporters and opponents. So, with this, the scene 2 of Act 2 ends. And tomorrow, we'll discuss scene 1 of Act 3. Till then, thank you.